Now you might find this controversial, particularly if you've watched my previous or one of my previous videos about cardio and how it doesn't kill your gains. And I'm going to slightly not change my opinion, but go further onto that, because I was having a conversation the other day in the DMs with someone who DM'd me, and she said that she was struggling to gain muscle mass. She's been going to the gym for about 5 years. She weighed 48 kilos. She trains hard, but isn't seeing results. So what we did is we broke down what she was currently doing. And at first you might think that she's not training to the best, or I hate the word optimal, but to the most optimal way to grow muscle. You might think that she's not training to failure frequently enough, she's not lifting heavy enough, and she's not putting enough effort in the gym. But she did tell me that she was doing that. So again, it's very hard for me to judge that without seeing someone in person, but you give them the benefit of the doubt, and I will say, yeah, sure, that's cool. So you need to analyze everything that's going on in their life. And what she also told me, and this is what I believe is one of the main reasons why she might be struggling to grow muscle, is she does 60 to 100 kilometers running per week, 2 or 3 CrossFit sessions, and then 3 weight training sessions. As stated in my previous video, cardio does not kill your gains within reason. If you are doing 60 to 100 kilometer weeks, there is a possibility that you are not giving your body the best chance to grow muscle, because lifting weights is a very anabolic activity, whereas running is catabolic. So they are slightly counterproductive if done together or not done to work in sync. So there is a possibility that you can still grow muscle whilst doing that much cardio, but you need to do everything else. You need to have everything else dialed in. But B, you might want to consider maybe dropping that amount of cardio down slightly if you're somebody who is doing a lot of cardio. So let's say, for instance, you're training for an Ironman or a triathlon or something that requires a lot of cardio, but you still want to maintain and grow muscle. So here's what you can do. Prioritize weight training at least 3 times a week, preferably on different days to your cardio days. But if they're on the same day, do your weight training in the morning and your cardio in the evening, or at least 6 hours apart. The main thing that you have to have dialed in here is your nutrition. You need to make sure you're particularly loading up on your carbs, because you're going to be burning so much, you're going to be completely depleting your glycogen stores. So you need to be eating as much carbohydrates as possible, or as many carbs as possible, particularly before a workout or before your cardio session. And then you also need to have an extremely high protein intake, at least 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, if not more, because you're going to be needing to maintain as much muscle as possible, and if not grow muscle. You want to either be in a maintenance, depending on your goals, or a very, very, very slight surplus if that doesn't interfere with your cardio performance too much. So you can do this by going on any calorie calculator website, inputting your activity, your age and stuff like that, and it will give you your maintenance or surplus calories. But that has to be absolutely locked in, and you need to be weighing yourself daily to ensure that you are within a deficit or a surplus or a maintenance or maintenance. But you have to be prepared to eat a lot of food, right? And my initial thoughts with this, again, it's very hard to tell each individual. You need to look at everything they're doing in their life and track everything. But my initial thoughts with this lady would be that she probably wasn't eating enough calories, eating enough protein, and that is why she was struggling to grow the muscle. And again, obviously she was doing quite a lot of cardio. So my recommendation would be, firstly, can we reduce that cardio to say 25 to 50K a week? Slow, low intensity cardio, and really prioritize in progressive overload and training intensity with the weightlifting, but also eating enough calories, particularly carbs and proteins, to complement the style of training that she is doing. So if that sounds like you, and you're doing a lot of cardio, but you're struggling to grow muscle, but you don't want to drop the cardio, make sure everything else is dialed in around it. Eat enough carbs, eat enough protein, do plenty of weight training, preferably on rest days to cardio. And also, which I nearly forgot to mention, is sleep and recovery. Make sure you are getting 8 hours, absolutely 8 hours sleep per night. Your body is going to be pushed to the limits doing that much. So you need to make sure you are resting and recovering well, because all of that is pointless if you are not recovering. We cannot stress how important recovery is, particularly if you're someone who does a lot of exercise. So to summarize briefly, no cardio will not kill your gains, caveated with if you've got everything else dialed in. So if you're doing a lot of cardio, focus on recovery, calories, protein and carbs, and resistance training. And if you're only doing a minimal amount of cardio, again, do the exact same, but you don't need to worry about being as strict. I think that summarises everything. Hopefully that answers any questions if you feel like you had any with regards to this topic. As always, follow me on my socials at Kieran Yap Fitness on Instagram, TikTok, CYap Fitness on Facebook, and Kieran Yap on LinkedIn. And as always, like, for the sake of the algorithm, drop me a comment if there's any video you would like to see me break down, and subscribe if you are yet to already. And if you would like to get in shape this summer, then I have got my Lean Into Summer program. All my free stuff will be in the comments, but the application to my Lean Into Summer program will also be in the comments. So click that if you are interested in getting shredded this summer. Until next time, see you later.